What is going on, world? Welcome back once again. My name is ZacNovak and this is ZacNovak Plays Games. In today's video, things are a little bit different. I have recorded this now twice. First time it was very different to this. There was complete change. There wasn't this, face cam and that. That ended up failing. That ended up didn't syncing up with the audio for some reason. Second one I recorded was like this, very much the exact same. However, my voice in itself decided that it wanted to actually start breaking up through certain parts. So, third time's a charm. I'm trying to record this on, as you can see, my Canon DSLR. We have over in the corner there, as you guys want, corner in the right hand side, you guys can see that is the thumbnail for this video. But yeah, big changes. Bungie dropped a bunch of information. Roll the intros, let's get into this, and I do hope you enjoy. Alrighty, so getting straight into the video. Well, as you guys can see, thumbnail, developer and game changes. Now these changes in themselves are pretty drastic and pretty crazy. This is the development update of the 11th of the 1st, 2018. Now there is a bunch of stuff where Christopher Barrett goes through and he does state that there was a bunch of stuff that was going on in the past with Destiny 2 that wasn't actually, community liked and everyone really enjoyed it. From the Curse of Osiris to other different stuff like that. There is going to be big changes. They're actually going to go through, and actually, as they state, there is going to be content categories and big changes to content in these said categories. Sorry about the chair. Starting things off though, they do want to actually go with expansions. They do want to kind of, elevate people and pretty much educate some people on the idea of what expansions are. Expansions are updates that typically add new story, destinations and gear, as well as new Crucible, Strike and Raid Lair content. I mean, not everyone knew about that, but I'm pretty sure almost 99% of the community already knew this, but thank you Bungie for saying it again. With seasons themselves though, this is a different part. They introduce content that is made available to all players in Destiny 2 at no additional cost. So, expansions are money, whereas seasons are free. Seasons automatically happen at all times. DLCs are going to be happening frequently in the future. So hand in hand they are kind of good. If you do want to actually go through and purchase said content for the DLC, then keep in mind things could potentially change in the future with seasons too. So what they do have is pretty much a launch content for what everyone can kind of get their head around for expansions, seasons, and of course the ever-loved Eververse. Now let's start off at the bottom with electively purchased or earned items, customizable gears, boons and emotes. Well, that actually seems like maybe Eververse is taking a step in the right direction. With seasons, Iron Banner faction rallies, seasonal reputation gear, endgame playlists, seasonal events, new features and updates are available to all players of Destiny 2. With expansions though, you get new campaign and strikes, new destinations, new destination rewards, new raid lair, new crucial maps, new legendary and exotic gear. So, they're both pretty much one of these things where if you don't have one, you can't really enjoy the other. It's still one of these things where Bungie is still kind of tailoring it to people that want to spend money. I do say that this is a good step in the right direction, but it isn't exactly where we should be going. Iron Banner faction rallies and their rewards will be available to everyone as part of Season 2. Additionally, Bungie is going forward and actually making changes to new seasonal rewards from the Crucible, Strike and Trials of the 9 that'll be available to all players. That is a very good step. That is something that is already needed. That was in Destiny 1. Seriously, that was what was in Destiny 1. You didn't have to pay for Iron Banner faction rallies. Well, we didn't really have faction rallies, but Iron Banner didn't have to pay for that, so why should we pay for it now? But yeah, they do state the faction rallies are actually returning January 16th and Iron Banner will be back in rotation January 30th. So that's cool, that's alright. And the big one, Eververse. This is where people have been asking so many questions and wondering what's going to be happening. This is where Bungie is going to enlighten us slightly on what is happening in the future for Eververse. They do state they recognize the scales are tipped too far towards TES at the moment, and Eververse was never intended to be a substitute for endgame content and rewards. Yeah, sure. I don't really think that was their kind of original intention. They saw that microtransactions were actually taking a step in the bigger direction to actually making more money for games, as Activision did state in one of their past things that games in themselves with microtransactions are able to kind of keep themselves going, mainly because of transactions. mainly because of microtransactions and not because of people actually purchasing things in the game. But yeah, hand in hand, microtransactions are things in games, but they are slightly different, with some things being available to actually be, you know, pay to win, where other things are just cosmetic. So they state they'll be changing and making 3 big changes for upcoming seasons with Eververse. They are shifting the balance of new content in the favor of activity rewards over bright engrams. This includes adding ghosts, sparrows, and ships, to date found only in bright engrams, to achievement reward pools. So that in itself is really freaking cool, because the last live event I didn't even get a quarter of the armor that was available. I'm pretty sure I got a helmet, a pair of boots, and a cloak. That's pretty freaking cool. That's 3 out of, you know, the whole set. Sucks. I got a bunch of ghosts, but I didn't really want those ghosts because kind of all of them suck. You just got a little bit of, you know, legendary marks, legendary shards for it. Anyway, continuing on. They do state they'll provide gameplay pass to earn bright engrams and contain all rewards including event engrams. So that in itself is kind of freaking cool. That means more loot. Literally, that's pretty much it. As they kind of had, you know, in the start where they had Cage 6 saying, more loot? Yeah, roll that clip.
There will be a ton of loot!
That's what I mean, more loot. Thank you. Finally, Bungie is actually listening and bringing this into scale. They'll actually also give players more direct purchase options and make adjustments to bright engrams to allow players to get the items they want more often. So that could be an actual node to the whole kind of idea of making a selection of 3 different items that you can get out of bright engrams. I think that in itself will be pretty cool if it is like that. But if it's more of this whole thing of you have to spend less silver dust to get other things, then it's still this whole thing of we're spending silver dust and spending money on microtransactions. They do state that they're actually implementing these changes for the Crimson Days event that is actually beginning February 13th, so mark that on the calendar. They're actually making even more changes on the way for Season 3, with these including this and more, but starting things off and not actually, you know, defining things as first to last, but I do think it's kind of first to last. Completing Nightfalls, Raids, and Crimson Day milestones during Crimson Day will reward you an exclusive legendary emote, weapon skin, and exotic sparrow respectively. Cool! That is loot for actually completing things in the game. That's what we wanted. Thank you, Bungie, you are actually listening, and that in itself will be pretty freaking cool. Players will also earn double engrams at level up, 1 crimson engram and 1 illuminated engram for each level up during the event. So that in itself will be pretty freaking cool. Double loot is always hype. I'm hyped about that. Hopefully you guys are hyped. Let me know in the comment section. Are you guys hyped about that? Also, crimson engrams can also drop from completing the Crimson Day matches and from completing the Crimson Day milestones on each character. So that means more loot, and more freaking loot. Thank you. This is cool. This is honestly really awesome. They do state that Crimson Engrams are strongly weighted to new rewards when decrypting until all new event items have been obtained. So that is actually a good step in the right direction to getting all the loot that you want, especially if you're a collector like myself. Continuing on though, they do actually have to state that the XP rates, they are still investigating changes to the XP rate earns, but their goal and updates for the XP is supposed to be transparent and consistent with the XP gain regardless of your actual potential preferred activity. I have to state that yes, that is good, but as they do state, they aren't actually doing anything about it at the moment. The whole thing of their first attempt being unworkably buggy, I don't know, that might have just been an excuse, but we'll have to see in the future. They do have to actually state they're investigating other angles as to kind of approach this, and they'll continue to update us in the future as they move on. But yes, speaking of moving on, the feature roadmap. There are 3 releases that we want to actually put on our radar as of now. The later release dates for these specified things will kind of come in the future when they do get closer, but they do want to state that the following content and features will be available to all Destiny 2 players regardless of expansion ownership. So starting January 30th, Masterwork Armor is coming in. We are expanding the Masterwork system to include armor. Masterwork Armor provides increased damage reduction while using your super, and you can reroll the armor stat type on Masterwork Armor, and similar to Masterwork weapons, you can upgrade a piece of armor to Masterwork by spending Masterwork cores and legendary shards. Yeah, don't know why that wasn't actually brought in when we had actual, the whole thing of Masterwork weapons. And kind of continuing on about that further in the video, you'll see Masterwork exotics, which we'll talk about soon. But they do actually state the raid rewards are going to be reworked. Say that 3 times fast, a little bit hard. They're actually updating raid rewards to make them more unique and interesting. They will now feature mods with raid specific perks, and they are adjusting the reward system to ensure a raid item drops from each major encounter. So a lot of people are going to be very happy about that, especially the whole thing of raid specific perks. Don't know why they removed those in the first place if we had them in Destiny 1. Just seems like we're kind of going back in time and getting just, member berries. We're getting member berries. Anyway, they also state that the raid vendor will also be directly selling Leviathan and Eater of Worlds armor and weapons for purchase with raid tokens and legendary shards. That broken robot that's underneath Hawthorne, go and check him out. Pretty cool. Anyway, they also state they're adding a new ghost with raid specific perks that has a chance to drop from the Leviathan and Eater of Worlds fun encounters. They intend to return the... Yo! Huh? What do you mean? Alright, sorry about that. There was a little bit of a problem. Unknown Clone's Xbox actually isn't turning on. We're not sure if it's a power bank, like supply thing, or if it's actually the Xbox. Gonna find out tomorrow, so keep you guys informed on that. But let's get back to things that I was talking about. So, anyway, they do actually go on to state that they're going to go through and they intend to return to creating more raid and other activity unique rewards in the future. So, does that actually mean strike specific loot? Fingers crossed it does, because that would be really freaking cool. Talking about strikes though, they do also go on to say that during the February update there is going to be strike scoring and high score tracking. Now strike scoring is coming to Nightfall and replacing the current time limit mechanics, which I don't even know why that was in effect in the first place or even a mechanic. And strike scoring we already had in Destiny 1, so bringing it back in Destiny 2 is kind of the whole thing, As they state, the scoring is similar to Destiny 1. The Destiny 1 system, but in itself, it's going to have adjustments to emphasize competitive execution of strike objectives and support for players with selectable score modifiers. That in itself does sound like we're going to be able to go through and choose certain modifiers for different heroic or nightfall strikes. If that is true, I'm definitely going to go through and be Boundless Light almost every single time. If we can, that'll be freaking cool. As well, in February, Nightfall high scores will be exposed in-game via new emblems and will unlock rewards. So that sounds cool, and it sounds like we're going to just, get rewards for grinding strikes, which we kind of had that in Destiny 1, but now having it in Destiny 2 is really freaking cool. Hopefully it is emphasized, as they do state, on a different kind of process, but they do state that we also have plans for clan and community high scores in the works. So that in itself is cool. Going on to the next part, Mods 2.0. Work is underway on a full rework of armor and weapon mods. This will focus on reducing redundant mods, more unique theming, and greatly increasing their impact on your power. Which this is what mods were supposed to be in there in the first place for. So bringing it now is kind of like the whole thing of Bungie knowing they flipped out and messed up. So, I didn't swear. Flipped up and messed out, and they just had to change things all over, because this is kind of what we're doing in Destiny 2 as it is at the moment. We're kind of just treading water, hoping that they'll actually, drop something amazing. They do state that we are actually, well, Bungie themselves are aiming for a February release, but the scope of the rework could push parts or all of it out of the way to early spring. Fingers crossed it is early in February, because that would be really freaking cool. They also state they're evaluating how mods play into the bright engram economy as a result, because we're sensitive to pay to win outcomes. Bungie, really? Pay to win outcomes? You guys went through and just literally jumped on board the microtransaction train and rode it entire way all the way to Cash Town. It gets me a little bit tweaked. Anyway, I do want to say that I don't actually mean anything wrong by Bungie, but doing the things they did do weren't actually really the greatest kind of ideas. That's why, when Halo got given the free for free industries and they messed up, Bungie got back, fixed it and did stuff like that. Anyway, talking about Destiny 2 here, they also do state the quick play is going to have improvements. They are adjusting game mode rules to increase the pace of gameplay and power ammo acquisition in quick play. So, does that actually mean that if you kill a Guardian that already has heavy, you actually get that heavy? Fingers crossed again that is coming. I keep saying fingers crossed. Anyway, keep going on. PC tower chat, which is kind of cool. They're adding that for the PC version so you can talk in the tower to people. Cool. They're also going on the exotic repetition reduction. So, Bungie has talked about this multiple times in the past, and at some point I thought they did state that they kind of fixed it. Maybe they didn't. They do state this will prevent players from receiving the same exotic twice in a row. You may still receive duplicates, just not consecutively. So that kind of means you'll get Mask of the Quiet One, go turn in a few legendaries, go and turn in another exotic, and it is, you know, say Eon Flux or something like that, or it is just any form of exotic, say even the Saint 14 helmet, and then again you gotta turn in another exotic after that because, you know, you've saved up a few of them and you think, cool, this is gonna get me some awesome gear. You get Mask of the Quiet One again. That's seriously, if that's gonna be a problem in the future, Bungie, I don't know what's gonna happen. Fish are gonna fly. Anyway, Fireteam members are now actually going to be seen on the destination map. Finally, you will be able to see the other members of your Fireteam on the destination map. No more having to ask your Fireteam where they went when they fast traveled to another landing zone. Thank you. That is something that we have needed from day one. I am really happy that's a thing, and that in itself does make stuff pretty freaking awesome. Even though it's not a big change, it is still a thorough change that I think is going to be good for the game. Now moving on to spring 2018, they're taking their time with what they need in the development for expansion 2 that allows Bungie to react to the player feedback from Curse of Osiris, you know, us complaining about certain things. In the coming months, we'll talk more about what you can expect to find in Destiny 2's next story. The team is eager to show you what they've been working on, and I myself am eager to see Anna Bray. Please, can we see Anna Bray? Please. That would be really freaking cool. Independent of Expansion 2, the team will deliver a number of new features that will be released before or during Season 3. Every player of Destiny 2 will receive new content in the following categories. Crucible. This is where it kind of gets a little bit kind of weird. In Crucible, they want to give players new reasons to play, more variety and balance improvements. Spring will bring a number of exciting and long-awaited features to the Crucible, with one, the Crucible rank. They do state that at the beginning of Season 3, they will introduce seasonal Crucible ranks. There will be 2 different ranks for players to pursue, one being Valor, a progression rank that goes up as you complete matches. Winning helps you move up faster, but there are no loss penalties. Like me, noob, gonna definitely do that, whereas the other guys that are PvP gods are gonna probably go with Glory, a progression rank that goes up when you win and down when you lose. Performance is how you move up here, so the better you go in a match, the higher you do get on that actual tier list. I do have to say that it's kind of cool, and it's one of those things that, you know, gets people to grind a little bit more. So that in itself is cool, but what else is cool is, as you can see, private matches. They are coming to all players of Destiny 2, and players will be able to invite their friends to play on the map and mode of their choosing. Why wasn't this in the game if it was already in Destiny 1? I know that Bungie did go through and actually scrap the entire thing of Destiny 1 when, well, Destiny 2, I should say, when Destiny 1 was still actually available. But yeah, enough of that. They do state that with 6v6 playlists are coming back, they're bringing 6v6 PvP to Destiny 2 in addition to the current 4v4 modes. That is seriously cool. One of the reasons I don't play Crucible so much is just because it feels like, you know, you have to be aware of your teammates and everything at all times. Now with this, it literally means you can just go around running and gunning and having fun. Thank you, Bungie. Cool. They also say that Mayhem in itself will be an event, but it will only be released in a short, limited time as an event during Season 3 and going forward. Why don't they put this just in the game as a standard for everyone? I don't know, but yeah. Additional fixes, they're actually making some changes to make quitting less common and behind the scenes security improvements to help improve the overall Crucible experience. That's alright, that's cool. it's okay. Now, going over the additional highlights. Weapon and ability balance pass. Sandbox adjustments based on player feedback and data from the live game. The Sandbox team will share specific changes as we lead up to Season 3. So, that is very vague and we don't know what's going to be happening. So, really looking forward to that in the future. They also state exotic weapon and armor balance pass. Exotic weapons and armor are receiving a comprehensive design pass to ensure they stand out from the rest of the gear and offer new, exciting, powerful ways to play. That right there is pretty freaking cool. It means better exotics and hopefully better perks on certain exotics and changes on exotics that already just have, you know, horrible, worthless perks that not many people actually use. So yeah, that's cool. They also state that there is going to be seasonal reputation. Specific vendors will now display a seasonal ranking. Earning reputation will unlock unique seasonal rewards and will reset each season. So bear in mind, if you get something during season 2 or 3, if it comes in 2, or let's just say 3 or 4, depending if you get something in 3, you won't be able to get it in 4. If you get something in 4, you wouldn't be able to get it in 3. There's going to be big changes and there's going to be refreshes every time the season actually comes through. With seasons, and that of itself is pretty cool, but the improvements to Iron Banner and faction rallies. In addition to the changes that you will see when Iron Banner and faction rallies return this month, they'll be continuing to iterate on these and make the changes more unique, exciting experiences that all Guardians can look forward to. That's cool, that I like. Playlist repetition reduction. This feature solves the problem of experiencing the same playlist entry multiple times in consecutive or frequent succession for both crucible or strikes. Finally, no more endless veil over and over again. I mean, it's not that I don't like the strike or anything, it's just endless veil is just in my head constantly. I have dreams and nightmares and yeah, anyway. Endgame playlist pursuits are going to change. They agree with player feedback on the imbalance between achievement and brighter endgame rewards. They'll be making adjustments to shift more rewards into specific endgame pursuits instead of generic XP grinding for bright engrams. That is a change that is going to help out so very much. They're excited to also share details as soon as they actually had them worked out, so yeah, that's still vague as to when it will be in the future, but it's good to know that those changes are coming at some point. Big changes, and probably the biggest change available as right now just for everything, is multi-emote. Yes! Multi-emote. When multi-emote launches, you'll be able to choose which emote you have equipped to each of your 4 emote slots. So selfie, ramen, flip the table, and bottle shot all can be actually available at the same time, which is so freaking cool. I'm happy about that. I really like that. Vault space. This is something that I would prefer if they were, you know, expanding largely, but instead they state they are targeting an additional 50 slots to player vaults. They don't believe just adding more space is a complete solution and actually are working on other changes to reduce the load on your vault space. They're adding an exotic accessory tab to the vault collection, so you will no longer need to spend vault space on exotic ships, sparrows, and ghosts. That's cool, but if we dismantle them, can we just get them back from the kiosk? That would be good to know as well, and yeah. PC clan chat. In addition to the tower chat that is targeted for February, they are adding clan chat to PC versions of the game. Heroic strikes are also getting changes, and they will be introducing modifiers to add more gameplay variety to the experiences. That's cool, actually, that's cooler than I kind of, you know, originally read. That's like one of those things of going, hey, you might have a heroic strike with Boundless Light. That's cool. I like that. Also, for fall 2018 or sooner, they do state they're looking on a lot more, but they are not actually quite ready to discuss, but expect more on this small sample of items that they do have there in the near future. Item collections and records. So record books that we did have in Destiny 1 are coming back, so re-roll the Destiny 1. We're also most likely going to be having Dead Ghosts, as I said in the video yesterday. If you didn't check it out, annotation will be at the end of this video for that, or just a video thingy you can click. Anyway, the whole thing is big change. Ow, I just hit my elbow, that really hurt. Anyway, big changes are coming, and I like what they're talking about. getting to collect ghosts is something I myself just really like. They also state the weapon slot and archetype improvements are coming. Very vague on what that really is. Maybe it's going to be this whole thing of you can actually have more than what we kind of have already available in our slots, like 6. We could have like a whole backpack full, or you know, we can maybe equip 2 exotics, which is just far out there thinking, but that would be cool. They also say additional crucible playlists. Example is Rumble, which I did say in the video yesterday, which I'll have at that same thing at the end of this video. Anyway, that's cool. Rumble is coming back, but Mayhem needs to actually be a standard, so Bungie, get on that, please. If you see this video, most likely you won't, but if you do, what's up? How you going? ZacNovak here. Anyway, continuing on. They have better clan rewards, masterwork exotics, which I don't even know why masterwork exotics are even gonna be a thing. They should have already been a thing in the past. It's just, pinnacle weapon and gear improvements, which kind of just means that, you know, we're most likely going to have better perks or things that are available, such as mods on certain things like that, which could be cool, but we don't really know what actually that means. Trials of the Night is going to have improvements, which good for you guys. I don't really play Trials, but if anyone wants to hit me up, ZacNovak, what's up? Anyway, shaders and dismantling. Hopefully we can click that white button and we can dismantle a whole stack of shaders. Fingers crossed for that. And yeah, the future of guided games is coming, and they're also addressing solo versus fireteam matchmaking. So if you're solo and want to jump in to do some Crucible, then that in itself is going to be a big change. It means that you're actually going to be able to go in there with people that are most likely solo queued as well. Fingers crossed that is what's going to happen. They do also state that on a final note, expect to hear more from us via Bungie.net, Twitch and social media. They'll actually be talking to us more directly and more often as they promised. They do want to thank us and the community for all the passionate and detailed feedback we've provided. I know a lot of people have just kind of complained. Don't do that. Just like, you know, there's some good feedback, some constructive criticism, if you will. They state that it is critical to their ability to continually improve Destiny, so they thank us. That's cool. Thanks, Christopher Barrett. You're awesome, dude. I'm looking at that. You're looking at that. Christopher Barrett, you're an awesome dude. Thank you. Also, I do want to say thank you guys for actually, you know, checking out this video. I just hit my goddamn, this thing that's right here. You probably, hey look, you can see it. That's my actual aerial for my computer, so I can connect to the internet and play Call of Duty. I don't play Call of Duty. I play CSGO, which I really suck at, but yeah. Anyway, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. Let us just go back to, you know, this image over here, because it's slightly better and you guys can kind of just, you know, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, this has been ZacNovak. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, click that like button down below, do all that good stuff, and I'll be cheering like Karen over there. He's a cheering. But until next time, this is ZacNovak signing off. Peace out.